Greetings, mortals, and welcome back. Hey, how's it going?
Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was shaving, and then I was on time after I shaved. And then I had some other things that I wanted to do, and then I did a couple of things. Then I said, wait, shit, I haven't actually watered the plants. And they'll just fucking die if I don't water them. So I kind of had to do that. So yes, that is my story. I'm sticking to it. This is probably the longest that we've been sitting on the starting soon screen, like, this entire time, right? I don't think I've ever sat on there for more than 5 minutes. But, oops. Anyway, I know that it's normal for some people to, like make the stream live well in advance. This is not off. But I prefer not to do that. Alright, so when last we left off, we just finished up the Minotaur place. I believe I haven't been looking at the Discord, so I think we finished we finished the Minotaur maze, right? I'm pretty sure that we finished the Minotaur maze. So that's all well and good. I should close this thing. Then let's see. We need to go. We don't even have Discord open. Open Discord. Go to the Discord. Pick up the update. I think Malekith responded to my thing with an indication that they had found what the problem was, and so the problem is probably fixed. I think I've been very, very elsewhere all weekend. So there was a problem where the enemies were progressively hitting for less and less damage. I believe it was progressive because I think that it started happening pretty fast. But the enemies were hitting for less and less damage until eventually they're basically just not hitting me at all, which made the Minotaur maze way easier than it should have been. I could reset it by fully closing and restarting the game, which I had to do a couple of times, but my guess is that I got through a substantial amount of that zone way easier than I should have as a result of that. Let's see here. It's busy. It is kind of wild to think how busy I've been. Usually when I've been not live and stuff like that, it's like, oh yeah, well, I was faffing around on the couch doing nothing, and now it's like, oh yeah, I had like 6,000 appointments that I needed to go to. Things are pretty wild here at the moment, but it's all good. It's all good. And things are going so good. Last night, me and my wife went to see the new Deadpool movie. And it was pretty good. I liked it. It was also really funny because I think it's the first movie I've ever seen where I actually felt like, oh, they're fully just like, what's the word? Oh, shit, what's the word? Not catering to. They're pandering specifically to me. Like, my age demographic was getting pandered to so hard. Like, so fucking hard. And it was very funny. It was like a experience that I'm not used to. It's like, yes, I am the boomer now. Because, like, movies for my entire life have basically, like, been fully pandering to boomers. And even movies that are, like, not for boomers are pretty much pandering to boomers and boomer mentalities. It was very funny to be like, oh, yeah, this is pandering to the millennials. Okay. Specifically the elder millennials. So, I believe that I've updated the thing. I believe that we're ready. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. No notes. I usually have some, like, nitpicky, bullshit to say, and I really just didn't have anything. I was just like, hey, this is a fun movie. I feel like they had a lot to work with the current state of comic book movies. It makes a parody have a lot of, if they're willing to like go in on it, it gives a parody like a lot of legs to play with. So yeah. Okay. So we are still in Nyon. We've cleared this dungeon, I believe. I'm just going to enter it. We don't need to, because... Alright. And we have a single Hydra here. Let's find out if we can fly here now. My guess is probably no. But we'll find out. Alright, we are going to fall straight out of the sky, so... This is not considered a aerial zone for whatever reason. Why was that not hitting me at all? Do those have the ability to miss? Huh. Alright. So what do we need to do? Did we need to do, like, inventory management? Was there a bunch of bullshit that I needed to do? I don't remember. The problem with being as busy as I've been is that, like, usually I am, like, hyper-fixated on whatever it is that I'm doing in, like, the game. This is a fair point, Astro Kitty. Let's see. Oh, right, I also have to cast Divine Intervention. Well, so we're at 33 now. All right, let's see. I'm gonna reload for that. I'm not gonna say that. Hey, if you don't mean it, you don't highlight it. You'll note that I didn't use the horseshoe because that wasn't highlighted. The highlight function is like a loaded weapon. It's just like a gun, okay? The highlight function is like a gun. You don't point it at something you don't intend to destroy. And of course, every firearm is loaded. I remember like someone with had a really, really funny like descriptor of what happens with a firearm like every time it like exits your immediate like power of like the second that you put a gun on the ground, it immediately becomes loaded via some sort of like magic. Yeah, I don't know a lot about the thing that happened with Alec Baldwin. I think the case was the case dismissed for because of like prosecutorial misconduct or something like that. Really weird from top to bottom, right? Like the whole thing is very bizarre. But yeah, it like not super surprising that there was prosecutorial misconduct involved, because it's my understanding that in circumstances like that it's very unusual to like go after the actor, because like they're a dumb actor. They're not like they're not like an actual expert, right? So like weird shit all around. And obviously, like, again, like, you know, it's a meme of like, you know, every weapon is loaded. Don't point a weapon at a person unless you intend to kill them. Right? That is a thing that is a meme, but is fully 100% correct. Every weapon is loaded. The second that you put it on the ground, bullets are warped into the chamber. This is just a fact about the universe. It's unclear. The laws of physics do not explain everything. One of the things they don't explain is how it is that bullets keep magically ending up in firearms that were previously unloaded. Right? That is the case. But but it is unusual, I think, to like go after someone in the first place for that, because there's so many other people who are like the liability there is split between so many hands, and the person who's holding the gun is like the 15th in the chain of responsibility for that firearm. Like incredibly unclear why like a gun that's meant to be used as a prop would have ever had actual bullets in it. Like that's an insane thing. It's like a crazy thing to do. But you know what they should do, okay? And this is something that I'm sure lots of people have said in the past. But Hollywood has a lot of money. What they should do is they should ask firearm companies to make them guns that cannot fire actual bullets at all. And they can do the things that are necessary for the gun to do, but they can't actually, you know, fire a bullet. And then people shouldn't use actual firearms on a set, because how many fucking people need to die on set because they get shot with a gun that shouldn't have been on set in the first place, frankly. Right? Like, oh no, my verisimilitude. Like, fuck off. Who cares? It's weird shit. It's weird shit. But I guess the other thing is that Alec Baldwin was also like he was also a decision maker on set at the same time, so he was like simultaneously subordinate to and the boss of the person who was responsible for the whole thing. I don't know the details. Like, it's entirely possible that there was a case to be made there, even if it was unusual that the case was brought. I would love for there to be like institutional changes to the way that guns are handled on set, because like people just keep dying on movie sets. And like, sure, there aren't that many people who have gotten shot on set in my lifetime, but like Hollywood is fucking tiny, man. Like there's not that many times where someone could get shot on set. Like, how often is someone pointing a gun at someone on set? Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's like seems pretty fucking dangerous to me, because it keeps happening. Wild shit. Anyway. Whoa, we are taking way more damage than I expected. That was intense. Okay, I guess we probably should cast shield. So let's get that cast. There we go. Oh, jeez. Oh, we're gonna die. I wasn't paying enough attention. There's way too... What is happening? What was that? That was incredibly unusual. Okay. I'm just going to sit on this spot here and see how things go. And... and try to... Yeah. It's also possible that guns on set are like the least of our worries in terms of, well, maybe not the least of, but one of the lesser concerns compared to a bunch of other bullshit that's going on set. Hollywood sets seem pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. It is truly mind-boggling, the idea of, like, the idea of bringing an actual gun onto a set. To me, like, to give to a bunch of actors, like, truly mind-boggling. Like, why would you do this? It's insane. It's an insane thing to do. Mind-boggling. Like, props were invented for a reason. I have it on good authority that props exist and you can use them to do things. Like, here's actually something that I think is very funny, actually. So, like, Hollywood will use, like, CGI so they don't have to, like, shave an actor, okay? Like, they'll use CGI to do a reshoot because their actor has a beard, okay? And they'll try to CGI that shit off, and it looks absolutely terrible and doesn't work, right? They'll try to do shit like that for no fucking reason, right? And yet, they won't just CGI a gun in. You know? Like, you don't have, like, the degree of madness to the whole thing is truly just mind-boggling. Because it is tragic, but it's not just tragic. It's tragic and dumb. Like, people shouldn't be dying to a gun on a fucking movie set, because there shouldn't be a gun on a movie set. Much less a gun that's ever been loaded. Why would a gun that's meant to be put on a movie set ever have been loaded in the first place? Buy a new gun. Okay. I've spoken so long on something that I know absolutely nothing about, other than systemically that it's like the most systemically stupid thing that I've ever heard in my fucking life. Especially because it's happened before. It happened in The Crow too, right? Like the like lead on The Crow got shot in like the one scene that there's a gun involved. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Okay, so what am I doing? We are clearing this out. We have an adamantite Thunderbird here. We're just going to whittle through all these enemies. And once we finished with Nyone, are there any other dungeons here? Or have I cleared all the dungeons here? I think I've cleared all the dungeons here, right? I think these are all done. These are really hitting harder than I expected, honestly. I don't know why. I don't know why I expected them to hit less hard than they are. They're pretty high level. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. 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 Any day now. We gotta get some of you coming my way. There we go. I wonder if there's a spot that's mostly safe. This is not gonna be sufficient. Alright. It's gonna be very funny because we're currently doing this place. From here, we've done Avley. We're actually like pretty close to done, I think. It's gonna be really bizarre to actually like finish this run. Like, both because I have such a strong propensity for not finishing things, that has been established as a tendency of mine, but also just because it's like, I've been doing this run for so long, the idea of it having a endpoint is confusing and strange to me. Please? Okay. That was much more dangerous than it had to be. We're still in very serious danger. There's a possibility here that Celery goes down, because we're definitely taking more damage than we were healing through, but we got it. We got the job done. Okay. That was a pretty big pack to clear. Let me clear out this one. And I watched another movie over the weekend too, actually. I think was pretty good. Let's see. I was actually surprised. We watched Madam Web at some point, and I was actually surprised that Madam Web was pretty good. Because like, basically, like, every like reviewer that I was looking at had a review that was basically like, this movie was a total mess. It's like, I don't know, it seemed reasonably normal to me. Like, I don't know what people were expecting, but it was actually, I thought it was fine. I didn't really have any major notes on it. Which, again, is surprising, because usually I have lots of notes. I usually have a lot. But that wasn't the other movie that we saw. What was the other movie that we saw? Oh yeah, we saw Love and Monsters, which was fine. It was fine.
We can take it.
So that was what we did over the weekend. Is we watched a couple of movies, and I've been playing NGU Idol, which is a game that is entirely about doing bullshit math for the sake of doing bullshit math. And is thus my jam. I wouldn't say that I would recommend it or anything. It's literally an idle game. But I feel like as a genre that is fairly niche. It's like, you know, oh yes. Do you enjoy setting things up to just run on their own for, 5 hours at a time? And also enjoy micromanaging the shit out of, 1 hour dedicated windows to, slightly increase the pace at which you make progress in a game that doesn't have any meaningful reward for progressing other than number go up. In this case, literally, because the factor that goes up when you basically like the primary factor for like determining your ability to like progress to later bosses is literally a number that is just called number. You know, it is in fact legal for me to play games off stream. Yeah, you want me playing NGU Idle on stream? That's what we want. The incredibly, God damn it, the incredibly high octane action of Arctole sitting there going, okay, here, just because I'm a troll, I am. Oh Jesus Christ! I am going to. Where are you? New source. Window capture. Source. All right. So this is the game. And here's what the gameplay entails right now. So we're going to hit a D and then click, D-click, D-click, D-click. We're merging these items together. It's great, merging all these items into one pack so that they level up. We have all this bullshit leveled. We're going to merge these. And then we're going to go with a bunch of A's. And we're done. Okay, done. And anything else that we need to do? I don't think so. We're all set. Okay, so we're now done playing this game for about 10 minutes. At which point my inventory will fill up again. And I'll do it some more. I should do that as a bit this stream, is just keep an eye on my inventory, and when it fills up, I tap over to we're gonna do this at least for the next 15 minutes because it's funny. It's funny to me. You get what you look. You ask for. Be careful what you wish for. Is the theme of this live stream? Okay, let's go. Let's go take out that warlock. Unfortunately, we have to kill all of these again. I guess I didn't actually even show like the number, but it's fine. The basic gist of that game is that you have the ability to reincarnate, which increases your number, and as you clear bosses, you unlock new mechanics that allow you to boost your stats. Which then multiply into your number to generate your total stats, and it's like a whole thing. And some of the mechanics will reset when you every time you do the rebirth thing, and some of them won't. So there's like a whole it's a whole thing. And then there's challenges in it, which reset your number back to zero. Sorry, not to zero. Reset your number back to 1, which has its own implications. But it doesn't reset your other mechanics to 1. But number is, again, the primary one that determines your overall power level at any given time. So it's a whole deal. Oh, jeez. Alright. Mission successful, and we got some plate armor. But it was funny, because I was watching a Markiplier video where he was playing an idle game. And so I started playing another idle game by the same company. and I was like, this doesn't feel very well put together. Like, this doesn't, like, the actual gameplay of this doesn't feel very satisfying. Let's see if I can find one of the more, like, classic ones. So I started playing Antimatter, but Antimatter felt very, like, formulaic. In the sense of, like, there wasn't a ton of decision-making. And this one is one that when I was Googling around, I was like, okay, this one sounds kind of cool. And there's just so many stupid mechanics. The art style is incredibly dumb. The whole thing is very much like, yes, math for the sake of math. It is very nice having the Might and Magic 6 animations back. Like, the spell effects look so much better in Might Magic 6, and I'm so happy that they implemented them, because they just look badass. They look so cool. Okay. Alright, so we should be able to pull these separately now. And... walk over to this one. I think that we're getting close to finish with the dungeon, with the zone. Actually, I don't think there's too much left. I think this big, like, center location is a good portion of the enemy density in the zone. So we're not running into that that damage thing again, are we? I don't remember how hard these were hitting me just now. They weren't one-shotting me though, I don't think, right? I feel like if they were one-shotting me, those initial bursts where I was getting myself attacked en masse would have gone worse than they did. I'm, like, worried about it now, because it's like... Oh, Jesus, what am I doing? But yeah, I'm worried that I'm going to end up with, like... the damage bug causing problems for me. But it's been quite a while. It's been several days. I'm sure that it's been fixed by now, right? Because, like, the last time I streamed was Thursday, right? Like, I don't think I didn't stream Friday because I had to go to that appointment. It's really funny how I'll set alarms and things for appointments, like, months in advance, and then I'll completely forget about them until the alarm goes off. So I keep getting taken by surprise by appointments that I set up 3 months ago. Ugh.
Who wants some?
Okay. Nailed it. Nailed it. Hello, friend. Let's see. Yeah, things should be cooling off here somewhat in terms of my... Oh, wow, we got the stun off on the adamantite? Wow. Wow, you know, sometimes you do something that is... Whoa! Well, I'm glad that happened when it was already half empty. Sometimes you pick a fight that is like, there's no real way that I win this, but I'm gonna just, take some pot shots and, we'll see how it goes, and I'll probably die. And then you just paralyze the thing right off the bat. And it's like, hashtag calculated. Sometimes you just gotta take the risk, and it'll pay off. You can certainly suggest it, and I will certainly ignore that suggestion. I have too many apps on my phone already. I also don't generally have, I don't generally have an issue actually getting to my appointments. The issue is that I'll be I'll just be slow to inform people, oh, right, yeah, the daily thing that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not doing because I have an appointment. Which probably wouldn't be made any better by having an application that does it for me, to be perfectly honest. Just because of my nature. Yeah, generally speaking, I'm fairly good at setting an alarm that gets me to my appointment, which is basically what a calendar is, right? So, if I want to know when my appointments are, I can just look at my list of alarms. It's not like I have enough of them to make it difficult to scroll through. How dare you suggest that I use a calendar when I'm complaining about my lack of calendar? Yeah, it's just been a particularly wild couple of months because there's a lot of different things going on that I'm not going to go into that that basically require regular attention from me, and usually I don't have any sort of long-term planning that I need to do. I have an appointment every 2 months on average usually, and I've had 2 or 3 appointments a month for the last couple of months. So that's for the last several months. So things have been pretty busy ever since I got back from Japan. So it's been quite a bit of stuff. Quite a bit. Yeah, on the plus side, I'm starting to come out the other side of my bout of insomnia, it seems, which means that I'm actually getting sleep. So I woke up to my alarm this morning and actually got up, because my alarm is usually set for 6:30. And historically this year I've been just getting up to my alarm, but the last few weeks I haven't been, just because I've been too tired. Today I got up to my alarm no problem, which was nice. And I was still late to stream, but I was late to stream because I was fully faffing around, doing stuff that I didn't need to do. I mean, some of the stuff was stuff that I should do. As an example, I shaved, which is a thing that I should be doing before stream. You'll note that I didn't shave fully, but I did. I trimmed it with the electric razor. It's a 2-step process, basically. I always trim it with the electric, and then fully deal with it with the disposables. I used to use a safety razor, but But since I have an electric razor now, I don't need it anymore. The disposables are not sufficient to handle my face unless it's been prepped up. Like, even doing half of my face, the other day, I was like, I'm only shaving my half of my face. It'll be fine. I'm in a rush. I'm not going to, like, get the whole process. Because I use the electric razor while it's dry, right? And then to trim it down. And then I take a shower to soften it up. And then I use the normal razor. And the other day, when I was going to the bird park with some people who were visiting from out of town, I was like, okay, well, it'll be faster to just to just shave it, because it's not like I'm doing more than half my face. Doing half my face with just one razor, I can't do it. One disposable razor doesn't survive half of my face. So, which should have occurred to me when I, think about the fact that I used to use 4 disposables to get through my face, right? So half of my face should take 2. Anyway, look, I'm very smart. I can do math. So I ended up having to track down another one because I didn't know where. Okay, I'm in deep shit right now. We're gonna try to just kite it back a little bit rather than go. I'm gonna try to burn through the reflector. Ooh, we got lower instead of higher. Ooh! Oh shit, that's too low. Okay. Whew. That was spooky.
Worthy.
Oh shit, I'm holding up. There.
Oh.
Okay. Let's save the game. And let's fly. But I have actually tried to use a variety of calendar style things in the past. And
I'll save us.
how am I still alive? This is very funny. Wait, am I gonna survive? No, right? There's no way I get it. Oh my god! I got away with it! I got away with it! Are you fucking kidding me? Mind-boggling. Alright. So, let's see. What was this one?
Got him.
Yeah, kind of a wild year, but that's okay. Everything's going fine. Who does? Ooh, that's a summoner. Interesting. Concerning. I'm gonna bring this to this spot because I should be able to do some finagling with it that will hopefully be useful. I wasn't expecting it to be that useful, but okay. Works for me. So, the I'm gonna finish this off. If whoever that is walks in front of me and ends up getting stabbed to death, I'm gonna be very sad. Alright.
Great.
Interesting. Apple time. Chop chop. You're friendly. Okay. Interesting. Unexpected. What is in there? Is it just like meteorites in there? I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to try to climb up there. So we've got a Leecher Thunderbird here. It's level 300. I'm wondering if I want to take the northern route. If I want to go the other direction. Let's just pull them toward the middle of this mountain. We'll find. Okay, I don't know if that one's going to go hostile. Yes, it will. Interesting. So was that summoned by the summoner and just didn't get flagged as hostile for some reason? Alright. Okay. So what are you? A Leecher. Alright, Leecher is very dangerous. We're going to try it. But there's a very decent chance that we just get fully obliterated here. That's a yes. Alright. So, a Leecher that's level 306 is a bit much. I think we're going to need to pull it to a better location. I'm going to try pulling it to the same place that I pulled the other one. And we'll see how it goes with that. I'm wondering if I wanted to build a more durable party. How I would change my build to accommodate that. So I think we should be fine against the bosses just using this place. We don't have to lock it into a specific location. It's too big to fit into the tunnel. So as long as we are fighting it while we're in here, we're pretty safe. Now there is the issue that we will potentially run into some problems with the okay, let's save it. We're gonna start walking. Fewer hearts. I don't remember what I said that would be in response to. Let's see. So we've only got like a few more pulls here, I would imagine. That's concerned. They are very low, apparently. They're low enough, which is surprising because these are not like bosses or anything. That Thunderbird is in like a truck, actually. Let's see. Oh, right. How I would make myself survive. Yes. Yeah, if I was going to make a more survivable party, I would definitely... Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know how much of an impact that makes. I guess it's probably fairly substantial. the difference between negative 188 endurance and like this is a fairly weak item plus 19 to all stats and 700 max HP. It's kind of a big deal. Little bit. Yeah. If I were to downgrade my hat, we might have an easier time there. I'm very happy that I have so many plate users, actually, because I feel like the plate users are massively more durable in the late game, because the plate armor just gives so much more value than leather does. So the but I do like the current regen that I've got on Korgrick is now starting to feel like actually good. I think that one thing that I wasn't really fully accounting for when I was thinking about how weak my party felt for a while there was the fact that I was making the transition into the hardest section of the game, where enemies really just weren't going to be scaling that much further, because all the enemies were already above level 200, and enemies basically cap at level 300, right? So with the enemies capping around level 300, the difficulty was reaching its apex, but I wasn't even close to reaching the apex in terms of my gearing, because I'm now getting to the point where I'm starting to finish up gear slots. Getting more best in slot gear. Like I already had the one best in slot piece, right? That the Scholar's Cap is best in slot, obviously, but finishing the upgrading of the other best in slot pieces is a huge boon for me, because it really allows me to do some good work. I do think that at some point, and it might be the next project, I think it would be interesting to I'll have to ask someone. There might be someone in chat who knows. Does anyone in chat know what I would have to edit in order to make the bolster universal? In the sense of every level that I get, it impacts the bolster, including on the continent that I'm already on. Because I think that would be a very fun playthrough. And it would obviously be more fun and more amusing to do it with how are you doing? Okay for now. I need to get the rest of my party up before I try to... Let's try to... Got that one down. I want to get you... Okay. Yep.
It might be useful.
Let's see. But yeah, I think that would be a fun way to play. Wait, why are you... They're trying to kill Harry? Question mark? Okay. I'm gonna enter Thunderous Mountain. I'm gonna reset these. I don't want the warlocks randomly murdering Harry. I don't know how they got aggroed on Harry, because I don't think that like the peasants will even attack back. So I don't know like how that got set up that way, but oh, you know, it's been a while. It's been a few minutes. Let's check in on our inventory over here. How's it going? Looks like we filled up our inventory again. Let's go ahead and merge these up. I guess they probably just go hostile when the other one goes hostile, but I would have expected them to go hostile. But why would they do that? I would usually only expect them to go hostile if they got hit. So, unusual. And we'll just plop all this into this. And we have... Boom. Oh, interesting. So there's just two peasants that are just, like, treated as hostile. Oh, that's interesting. This is not... showing up correctly. Huh. I don't know what's going on with this. This isn't actually... It's not showing what's happening. Oh, wait. No, that was my face. I was so still that I actually thought that the thing had screwed up. Yeah, I need to stop fighting the things automatically. Let's turn that setting off. Where's that? Okay. I've turned off auto kill titans. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, but it's not showing the thing correctly. So I was gonna show a little bit more, but it's fine. If it's not working correctly, then I won't even do it for the main. All right. Let's see here. I wonder if it's gonna update if I click it again. No, it doesn't update if I click it again either. What is going on with this? Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know what's happening with this. Huh, it's not actually picking up the executable properly. Yeah, the factions are a total mess. I'd be curious to know how the actual faction system works. Because it seems kind of wild. Okay, that is more birds than I want to have. Right, I'm gonna have to just fight these, I guess, because we've got a person that we need to save over there. Alright. We don't have any of, like, the top tier rocks. My hope here is that I can get over here in time to rescue this guy. It's a little bit harder than it would have been with the goblins at the beginning. But it's honestly not that different. Alright. Now they're going to try to murder that guy again. Save it up. Yeah, it is kind of interesting because I think that I don't play that many games off stream really that you would expect me to play. Like I still haven't actually started the Elden Ring expansion. I really enjoyed Elden Ring, but I haven't been in like the right position to get started on the expansion. Where I'm just like, well, I've got like this run that I'm doing, and I'm very excited to finish the run. So I'm not going to like devote huge amounts of time to, you know, starting a run of Elden Ring. But at the same time, like I'm not going to play it off stream most likely. Elden Ring is one of those weird things where it's like a stream game, even though like it probably shouldn't be. I don't know that Elden Ring is necessarily the kind of game that people, you know, watch me for. I'm not great at FromSoft games. Interesting. I wonder if they had initially had a mixture of Medusas and oozes on the first floor, and the and they eventually decided to separate them by floor. So they just, but rather than like rewrite the whole thing to create just a single table, they just replaced the table that had the Medusas with a table that has the oozes. Or if it could have also been dwarves or something like that. They could have also had something like that, where there was supposed to be like an actual like battle going on in there, and then they replaced that with the Tunnels to Nyon, which kind of randomly have Gogs in them, but there's no real narrative attached to the battle going on there. It's kind of like superfluous. Is that another boss? Let's go. We're getting so many bosses over here. Like most of the bosses in the zone are ending up in this little section of it. If not all. Have we found any bosses elsewhere actually? Did we see any bosses before today? I don't know that we did. I don't think we ran into any boss hydras. Let's see. Puller. Probably gonna just need to pull out, but I'm gonna try to just melee kite a bit first. We might be able to handle this with just a melee kite, honestly. They're not staying on me as neatly as they would need to really shut me down.
Victory is ours.
Trying to murder Harry again, I think. Poor guy.
No space.
I think that would make sense, because they should default to being... So thinking about it from my perspective, the way that I would code it is I would default them to being friendly, and then have a script that plays to make them hostile until you've cleared the quest. And then once you've cleared that quest, you can run a one-time script to turn them friendly again if there's any left over. And then you don't have to run anything the next time the map loads. The next time the map loads, it's already set, right? Like, you don't need to worry about it from that point.
I'll save us.
Whereas, if you make them hostile, if you make them friendly by script, you have to recheck if you've done that quest every time that you enter from then on to run the script to make them friendly. So, from my perspective, I would just default to them being friendly and then make them hostile via script if you haven't completed the quest when you first loaded in. Does that make a huge difference? I don't know. It might not meaningfully make a difference in terms of how many checks you need to make. But for some reason, I feel like you can make it work with fewer total checks if you default them to friendly. I don't know. It's also possible that they made them hostile via script just for verisimilitude within the code, to make the code match the external reality, where the thing that is making them hostile is the that quest being incomplete, basically, because that's another component that you could hypothetically tie into it. And that doesn't matter to the end user that much necessarily, because they're obviously not going to see the code. But I could see a world where, by making it work that way in the code, basically making the code match the narrative, they make it clear to themselves, like everyone working on the project, this is these are not supposed to be enemies except for this specific reason that makes them hostile. I could see that being useful just for when you're trying to remember things internally as well. But it just makes sense to me that because of the fact that they are, in narrative only hostile because of the theft, it would make sense to do it by script to me. I don't know. I don't know how that relates to best practices. I don't know that best practices were terribly well do a random run. That could be fun. A randomizer run could be fun. Is there a randomizer for one of the main games that is like, is there a randomizer for 6, for example? Because if there's because the problem with this is that merge mod is so long. Like, merge mod is legitimately too long for me. It's so hard for me to finish a run of this just because it's just so fucking long. And I take such a long time with it, you know? I'm not playing the game in a fast manner. Okay, I'm gonna try... to basically just rotate them back and forth along this line. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, I slowed myself down. I'm going to try to reset them this way. This is not a good idea, though. There's going to be a lot of extra damage. Okay, I need to be concerned about running into the actual birds here. They might be paralyzed, but they can still block my movement. Okay, I think we're set here. Okay. I could try doing a randomizer run of 6 at some point. That could be kind of fun. I'm not sure if I would do like a standard arc mode with it or not. I'm not sure what I would do.
That's no good.
Alright, I'll take a look. If I do end up doing it, it'll probably be a while from now. I periodically try to do, like, multiple projects at the same time. And basically every time that I try to do multiple projects at the same time, one of them just ends up getting dropped, so... It's an issue. Because yeah, I was thinking about setting a thing up where I do like different things at different days of the week, but we'll see when I end up actually approaching that. Okay, we might be basically done now. Nyon might be almost complete. Let's take a look. We have 6 levels stockpiled now. We didn't turn in that guy's remains, did we? We did not. So we can turn in Haldar's remains, which may or may not be in our current inventory. I guess we'll just... check on that. What do your remains look like? Haldar. What is this? This is
Oh.
Oh, this is some plate. So, yes. Nice. So, we can bring Haldar back as a lich. All is well and good. Alright. Stonehenge, Red Dwarf Mines, Archomage. I've already done... let's see. I'm just going to check through to see if... Poor bud. Of course the warlocks are attacking the serfs. You know? And funnily enough, we actually haven't completed all of the hydras. It is kind of funny that there are enemies that use multi-shot by default, in this game. Like, Might and Magic 7 has the Beholder enemies use multi-shot, but doesn't have the Hydras use multi-shot. And I think that's kind of funny.
Ow!
Just gonna isolate these a little bit. Unfortunately, this is Fire Hydra. I think it was 2 Fire Hydras and like 2 Chaos Hydras over there. No, I was wrong. It's just 1 and 1. Alright. Alright. So the Chaos Hydra's toast. We can deal with 2 more Chaos Hydras over here. They don't appear to be hostile to the townspeople, which is interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to dive this one. I don't think that bug is still in play, because this did just one-shot me. So if this just one-shot Ash after this long of being around here, then I think we're golden. Alright, save the game. Excuse you. Oh, get wrecked. Let's tag this one. I'm actually going to cast Levitate. Just for funsies. And I'm going to wait for this one to get close enough to me, and then I'm just going to walk into it. Alright. We only have 1 Chaos Hydra left, and we have a bunch of the little... Oh, never mind, we have 2 Chaos Hydras. Can I just hide behind a... Yeah, I could just hide behind a wall here, and they'll probably approach pretty close. If they get close enough, I should probably be able... just dive them.
That's no good.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it would be fun at some point, and I probably am going to try this at some point. I think I might do an all-plate party at some point. Are there any plate users that can use elemental magic at all? Because I don't remember any offhand. I guess I could try using a ranger who probably has GM in either chain or leather. Let's see. But yeah, like thinking about it just in terms of like what buffs I need, I might end up needing... I might end up needing 2... Because the other thing is that I don't necessarily need elemental magic. Which is kind of a crazy thing to say, because it would mean that I couldn't fly. And not being able to fly is a really big deal. I wouldn't be able to fly, but I can use water walking with a Death Knight. What about all plate users and a dragon? I get the only problem with a dragon is that a dragon has a ranged attack that I can't turn off. So because I couldn't turn off the dragon's attack, that would interfere with my my setup. I could try to get to the... I don't think I can get there in time. That's fine. We can cast Cure Weakness. I should have recognized that I needed to go train, actually. I should have trained there. I think I'm going to go train now, because I should have trained when I was going to die if I didn't train. So we're going to train right now. And the other thing is that now that we have access to Nyone, we can town portal here whenever we want, I believe. We'll be able to... we'll be able to train any time of day. It won't matter anymore if I finish in the daytime or the nighttime. Excellent. I think that's very funny. Okay. So, regen. Leather arms. And you. Arms. Plate. I just realized that we're 2 ahead with arms and plate now, which I guess is fine. Let's see. You are... Let's see. What are the buffs that you're casting right now? You're using Day of the Gods. Increased by 1.5% per skill level. I think that I'm not going to pump that for right now. It's tempting to pump Spirit, but I don't know that there's much reason to, honestly. And as for you, do I want to just pump Leather up to 50? Or do I want to just get it to maybe 40 and leave it there? If I pump it to 40, we go from 52. That's the wrong number. I want to look at what the number... I was looking at the damage, not the... Go from 86 to 89. So if I dumped the rest of these in, I could get an okay return on that. Yeah, let's do it. We're just going to dump these 2 in. So we're up to 92k now. As for you, we have... Everyone I think is done. And we don't have to recast our buffs. So, what do we need to do now? But yeah, I'm thinking about like what I would do for a more like buff heavy team. Let's take a look at our damage output right now. So right now, basically all the damage is coming out of Ashcore. And I'm curious if that's because Ashcore is a knight. And is just scaling out of control. Or if it's because of specific gearing considerations that are making that happen. Because like Ash does have the fire damage coming out, which seems to be doubling my DPS, right? Like this enchantment, the of the dragon, is doing 2,500 to 5,100, and this is 3,000 to 5,200. So it's not quite as much damage as like the base melee damage, but it's pretty fucking close. But also, like, Severia has, like, 66% of the might that Ash has. So, Severia's damage being lower might be in large part just due to itemization concerns. Regarding that, I think that I'm probably, if I do another run, I'm going to be very, very much more focused on trying to find the appropriate itemization for each character. Part of what I was trying to do with my current itemization was just to get prepped for a gear setup that I'm never actually going to be able to achieve. One of the like big advantages that you have with a solo run, actually, that I think is kind of interesting, is the fact that, like, with a solo character, once you've found a legendary effect, you're set, right? Like, you don't have to worry about it. Once you've got it, right? Whereas we first found the enchantment for the 50% thing. Oh, that's interesting. We haven't cleared all these yet. I thought we had already cleared all these. Interesting. Well, I'm glad that I always do the, like, one last check around. Oh, this is a Thorns Thunderbird. That is going to be a pain in the ass. However, it's not going to be as much of a pain in the ass as it would be otherwise, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull these with the intention of seeing, can we use this space to fight them without having to fight the boss. Unfortunately, that peasant is getting attacked, which is not what my intention here was. Oh god, this is the thorns. Oh, the thorn bird is on the guy. This is a problem. This is a problem, because if I get too far away from it, it's going to get on him. Alright, we got this greater rock in with us, so we can kill it. Alright, this one is... Shit, we need to go save this guy over here. Because he's going to be way weaker. He's gonna die much faster than she will against that boss, I think. Alright. Let's see. Okay. She's down to like half HP, which is not optimal. Okay, luckily, it's paralyzed now.
It won't hurt us.
Okay. Wait, what is... Why am I dying?
It won't hurt us.
Can you not shoot me, please?
We can take it.
Wicked spirit. Wicked spirit.
Too easy.
Such a hit yet. Oh my god. Ash just like plunging his HP into the ground. Oh, whoops, wrong button. Okay.
Wicked spirit.
Luckily, this is paralyzed for a very long time.
Wicked spirit.
Way longer than I expected. Considering it's not like I've been hitting it with Gorgrick, so it's not like it had its duration reset. The difference between a crit and a non-crit is so funny.
Wicked spirit.
Oh god, what just hit?
Prey. Prey.
Easy prey.
It won't hurt us.
Okay, we got it. Whew. Hello.
This is good.
Okay, Divine's Ultimate Boots. And... Hey, Lightning Lance. It is going good. We are almost done with Nyon. I think that's the last of the bosses in here. And
This is good.
unfortunately, I don't think that we found a legendary on the world map here, though I haven't searched through my inventory completely thoroughly yet. Though we have looked at a lot of stuff in our inventory. But we did get a legendary in the Minotaur Maze, I believe. Did I equip it, though? I don't actually know. Alright, we can save this.
That's no good. No
Journal
room.
There's no
entry.
room. It might be useful. It might be useful.
Fly over here. Grab this one, which we've already grabbed apparently. I guess we must have like moved those away, and then once we peeled them. I do use crafting gems. I haven't used any in a little bit, but inventory management time is probably now.
Useless. Useless.
I think that it's most useful to use them on the legendaries, but I honestly think that it took me too long to start using them. I think that it's useful to start using them pretty early. But the let's see here.
Useless.
I think that it's useful to find whatchamacallit. I think you can also buy them off of vendors. But My brain broke. I forgot what I was saying. I think early on I wasn't using them because I wasn't sure like what gear it would be valuable to use them on. And I think that I oversaved them a bit. But I think that at the same time, part of it comes down to learning the actual like architecture of the game to be able to use it in a valuable fashion, right? Where it's like you want to be able to get the value out of it, which means that you want to understand what you're putting points into, right? So there's a mix there, right? But yes, but now is a good time for me to start doing it. The other thing to know is that eventually you do reach the point where you will start capping stuff out. And once you start capping out your gear, you'll realize, oh, wait, I actually have, quite a lot of resources I can put into stuff. Like, even with the way that I'm playing, which is just one clear of everything, and even with just that amount of resources, I have so many crafting diamonds. I just have so many of them. So eventually, like, I don't even have my weapon maxed out on Severia, which is kind of wild. Like, this should definitely be maxed out. Okay, so this is now maxed on that front. It's maxed on level, I think, as well. And yeah, I very highly recommend maxing out your weapons on, at the very least, like your top DPS. And if you have a weapon that you, like, a weapon with +% damage for every nearby enemy, like a legendary weapon like that, is probably going to be, like, your best in slot for somebody for the entire game. As long as it's not, like, a very unfortunate weapon type. So if you have a legendary like that, I would basically keep investing into that one until you've capped it out. And then once you get a new cap, you cap it every time. That's been kind of how I've been working with a lot of my gear for most of the game. But like, as an example, this item here should have leveled with me. This item here, I should have probably just kept leveling, because this item I got very early in the game. You can see it's level 1 required. It's got 44 luck and 44 speed. If I had kept this up to date with me, I could have used this the entire game. The crafting system is very useful for gear like that. But I also didn't want to invest too heavily into a non-legendary. But there are also items that can turn an item into a legendary. So let's see. Well, you can also remove enchants using the scouring pearls and replace those. So I'm not sure if the luck and speed enchant is the same as the other enchants. Like, I don't think the luck and speed component actually affects the required level. So I could be wrong on that, but I don't think that it does. So this is just like a very like high roll of what is the possibility for something that's level 1 required, right? And I have a couple items that were like that, where they were just completely insane when I got them. So do we have any weapons that need more levels? 233 doesn't sound right. Yeah. So I should be able to upgrade this. 239. So that's maxed out. Was I maxing out this leather? I think I might have been. I think that might have been what I was intending. is to max this royal leather out next. Because this character is so squishy. And Zeus is fine. Zeus is fine. Let's see. 525 water resistance is a lot of fucking water resistance. So what are we going to do? This is mostly maxed out, except for control cube shenanigans. Is that what I want to upgrade next? I could also upgrade the legendary poleaxe, but the legendary poleaxe doesn't have a secondary stat that I'm going to be upgrading with it. So I don't know that I need to upgrade that at the moment. This isn't capped out either. It would be kind of fun to continue to invest into my shield. I think that would be amusing. Do we want to go for that? Do we want to take Silria up to the next level? I think we might want to. I think it could be fun to do that. But it would be really nice to get the durability on Kortal up to a reasonable level. The advantage of doing the shield is of Doom, which I prefer of Doom to of the gods. So is Royal Leather the top tier? Yes. I actually have 2 weapon slots that I don't have legendaries in. Oh, the other thing is that, am I going to want to copy one of these? Neither of these are crazy good, honestly. The endurance and luck is not bad, but I don't know that I necessarily want to copy either of these suits of plate right now. So let's see. I think it makes the most sense to focus on Kortal's durability for right now. I think that's what I want to do. This is a shit ton of endurance. We got the boost all stats, and it is a pretty solid piece of gear. Though this has way more armor. Does Alvarian leather have more armor per level? Because if this has less armor, the armor value on this I can't upgrade. I'm going to have to take a look at some point. Like, if I'm going to do my full try-hard run at some point, I'm going to have to look at the base stats for all of the different types of gear so that I know which ones of these are actually best in slot, right? Like, what is the best two-handed axe type, right? Would be useful information to have because it impacts whether I want to invest it. Like, if I want to invest into this piece or I'd rather invest into this piece first, right? That it just makes a difference in that regard. So I could actually pump that as well. I think I'm probably going to want to find some boosts for Severia. Yeah, Severia doesn't have enough thinger. Yes, there is a Ascension Emeralds increase the tier of an item, but they do it within the classification of item, right? So like a Might and Magic 6 Cutlass will upgrade through the Might and Magic 6 Cutlasses, but a Might and Magic 6 Cutlass, the top tier Cutlass, isn't as good as the top tier Broadsword, even though they're the same type of item, right? So some chains have a higher top than others. Yeah, exactly. Like there's different types of there's different chains that you can run through. All right, so yes, let's just do this. We can track down where the hell. There we go. This is up to 80, and this is up to 85. So you can see that despite the fact that this is higher level, this is simply a better item, right? So Alvarian Leather is a better armor type than Royal Leather is. So I think I'm actually not going to upgrade this any further than I already have. I think that that's fine. We might end up with some other stuff, but this Alvarian Leather might end up being like just the best leather type, or there might be something else that's better. But I would assume that's a pretty significant difference in quality. I would venture a guess that it's probably the Alvarian Leather. So I can use these. I'm going to unequip this, and we're going to start. Do I have any lower tier? I think it's. I don't know that I have more of those. I think I'm just going to bother with sapphires. Okay, sapphires are maxed out. Okay, there we go. So we've got 210 speed and might now. And I'm pretty happy with those stats. I like speed and might. And I think we're ready to put this back on. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised given how high the armor on this is relative to the armor here. Like, this is 20 levels higher, and this has 5 more armor. So, like, that is a huge, huge difference in base armor. And let's see. That was the wrong type of diamond. Okay. Now then, what next? So this is maxed out. Right, I think I want to invest. Do I want to invest into further? Let me take a look at my stuff here. So you have half the vitality that Severia has. You have even lower. Your vitality is actually very low, but your vitality doesn't matter that much, honestly. And your DPS is so crazy that investing further into Ashcore right now is lunacy. We can... we could potentially max out the might and luck on this. Part of the reason that your damage is so low is because you're sitting on this primordial duelist blade. Because I took away your sword to give to Silria. So hypothetically I could give you a shield, but you only have expert shield. I don't think it's really worth it. I think that would be a waste. For right now, let's see. We have decent bit of crafting materials. Yeah, we have a lot of crafting materials just sitting around. Why am I not wearing a cloak? Where'd my cloak go? I don't know when that happened. I'm going to assume this is the correct cloak. I don't have any necessarily reason to believe that's the case. I'll need to check all of my cloaks now because I don't know what cloaks... I have like...
This is good.
Shit! Legendary Artificer's Belt of the Gods. 160 luck times 2 plus 60 to all stats. And 10% reduction to all damage taken. These are all good effects. So we did find another legendary. So we can just plop this onto Ash, which is interesting actually because Ash has this Captain's Cutlass right now, which reduces all damage taken. So it would be preferable to not. So we don't want to take this away from you. So this is going to require some reorganization. What is it that you have that gives 10% damage reduction? You might also not have one. Do you not have anything that gives 10% damage reduction? You don't have a 10% damage reduction thing. You do have a body resistance boost, which is useful for you and only you. So there's definitely some benefit to keeping this on. If I were to give you this, the only thing that we're losing out on here is the legendary effect. But the legendary effect is a pretty big deal. It's not great to lose that legendary effect. Like, I would prefer to have that 10% damage reduction on everybody before I start doubling up on it, to be perfectly honest. But at the same time, this is the character who would benefit the most from a belt like this. Severia really needs to have... Severia currently is maxed on luck. Luck is maxed. So we need to do some serious movement of our gear in order to give her the benefits of that. You have immunity to all status effects tied to this. You have it tied to your weapon. Immunity to all status effects is critically important for Silria to have, so I can't remove this belt. This belt has to stay here. I don't have anything else that I can equip instead, I don't think, because it's only on the belt and these two weapons, I think. So we don't have the ability to... There. I don't think that any of the legendary effects stack with themselves. So I'm pretty sure that the 10% damage reduction does not stack. So like I can't stack this with this and get the effect of both. But Ash is not luck capped, unlike other people. And Ash's belt is garbage compared to there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the special effects like that are not, that they all basically just don't stack. I don't think any of the legendary bonuses stack with themselves, but they should stack with other effects that also boost similar things, right? So like if you had something that increases your damage, like your normal damage, I think it would stack with like this, which gives a damage bonus for each enemy in the nearbys. So I don't, but yeah, in terms of like a single effect stacking with itself, I don't believe that they do. Let's see here. I've had so many crafting diamonds. If I did. So do you not? You don't have the 10% damage reduction at all. But this is actually such a good item for you specifically that it's not worth it to equip this as long as it's got luck on it. Now I could replace this luck with something else if I wanted, and maybe I'll want to do that eventually. But I don't really know. Should I actually repurpose this belt? This belt is garbage right now. Let's rebuild this belt. We're going to rebuild this belt. So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to swap to this. And let's see, what stats do we want on this belt? Speed and armor class is not, I think, what I want. I guess I could take the armor class if I wanted. I could take the speed if I wanted. Like, the speed isn't terrible. I don't think I want to put luck on anything. Luck is kind of a good generic stat to have, but I don't think that I want to put luck on this. Speed is a fairly useful stat for everybody. And armor class is honestly pretty useful for everybody. But I don't know that is it what I want? I could put more points into might if I wanted, but I don't want might, I don't think, because I think I have the thing that gives me the personality boost, right? Yes, I have this thing, which makes it so that I scale with personality just pretty similarly. Let's see. Yeah, the vitality effect is a calculation that you have to take with a grain of salt, because armor is valuable against physical damage, and resists are valuable against magic damage, and ne'er the two shall meet, right? Like, in terms of your overall, like, durability, it's target dependent, right? Like, optimally, you would have a full set of resistance gear for magic users and a full set of, like, AC gear for physical users. And your displayed durability will not be as high as it would be if you'd use the highest values for everything. But your actual in-practice durability is going to be massively higher. So, like, the vitality, like, the DPS thing, I think you can rely on more readily than any sort of vitality indicator, because the vitality indicator is so dependent on the specific details of what you're fighting. That's just kind of the nature of generalizations about durability in, like, any game, is that as long as you have interesting systems to play with, it's going to be something to take with a grain of salt. Let's see. I'm wondering what do I want to put this into? Because it increases AC and thinger. I'm tempted to leave the AC on this and just pump it up and see what happens. If I max this out, I won't be able to, like, change it later. But let's see. I could see that being useful, Lightning Lance. The issue is that when you're looking at, like, a generalized stat like this, you do kind of want to. You're trying to give sort of like a ballpark for people who are not necessarily going to go that deep into it. And for a person like that, having an item that you have, like, twice as much armor class, but which doesn't affect your resistance against fire, for instance, will confuse people as to why their vitality isn't increasing when they are equipping gear that seems like it should be a massive upgrade. And in addition to that, like the generalized stuff is pretty useful if you're not intending to swap your gear continuously between fights, which again most people are not going to do. I think it would be useful as a secondary thing to be able to show what is your weakest link vitality. I think that would be very useful to have, but it is important to like remember that like the specific details of like what your weaknesses are and like the like your sort of like your weakest link vitality isn't really relevant unless you're fighting against your weakest link at this moment, right? So if you like, let's say you're prepping for a fight against some like troglodytes or something like that, if you're pumping up your vitality, just generally, you'll usually get good results. It depends a lot on what you're doing. If you're just throwing on a bunch of fire resist gear and getting your vitality from that, but I feel like most people recognize that if you throw on a bunch of of fire resistance gear, it's not going to help you against the troglodytes. But I don't know. For my purpose, the generalized sort of like vagueness of it works under most circumstances, like most utility of like generically which piece of gear is better, and okay, I'm trying to gear up for this particular fight, like I'm going to put on all my gear that targets this fight. I would hope that someone isn't putting on their fire resistance gear to go fight like I was going to say a bat, but fire bats, the inferno bats actually use fire. Like a troglodyte or something like that doesn't use fire damage. So I could see someone getting confused with that, and I can but the utility of having like what is your weakest link and like how strong are you against it would be very useful. Like just having a comparative value of your weakest link versus your strongest would actually be a lot of fun as well, to see like what is the thing you're strongest against, what is the thing you're weakest against. I think would be fun, but that's also like a lot of stuff to like individually code and then figure out where you're going to display it. So because you have to figure out where to put it on the UI. What was I doing? Right, we were going to upgrade this belt. So do we want the armor class or do we want something else? I think I want the armor class just for the hell of it. We're going to leave this exactly how it is. We're going to pump a bunch of crafting sapphires into it, and then we're going to pump a bunch of diamonds into it and just cap it out on that front. We'll put an emerald into it because it turns out we have one. Where's the emerald? And we have so many diamonds. Okay, I'm not going to do all the diamonds yet because I'm not going to have inventory space to hold them all. So we have more crafting cubes that we can play with as well. That's good to know. I'm going to go ahead and just slap these into her inventory. Then a bunch of diamonds here, so we'll just leave that inventory active. Any more? Oh, there's a whole list of items here that we haven't identified. And none of them have any legendary effects or anything like that, so that's unfortunate. Let's see, I'm just gonna dump these in because this is fairly uninteresting inventory, so we might
There's
as well
no room.
get these to that inventory, I guess. Okay. We have a crafting sapphire
space.
here. We have quite a lot of crafting sapphires we can play with. And crafting? No. Okay. This is an inventory that we don't need to mess with right now. I'm going to save. And we have so many diamonds here. Oh, nice.
There's no room.
Okay. And this one is a normal one. So many
No,
diamonds.
there's no room.
Holy shit, we really can use a lot of these sapphires. There's one. And there's one. Okay, I think we're done there for now. We have other stuff that we can get crafting sapphires done. So we have 120 AC here. So we'll just equip this again. And we're at 471,000 vitality. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And what else do we want to do? What do we want to pump the level of? I think I probably want to get the shield upgraded. This is a Shield of Doom. I've already maxed it out in other ways. I think I'm going to just go ahead and upgrade this. And that gets us to 150. We're at 504 vitality. She's doing okay for herself. Oh, we have crafting sapphires in this inventory. We have diamonds. These are... not kept up. Nice. Alright. So we're going to just equip these. This is fine. This effect doesn't matter to me, so this can just sit on her forever. Let's see here. It's not necessarily optimal to have that personality there, but it's fine. The personality will boost the amount of healing that we do, which is good to have, and we're fine with that. Now, we have this legendary here. This legendary is not maxed out, but it's also not a great legendary, and we do have a bunch of cloaks. So I'm not sure if we're going to be using that one forever. This, however, is a kind of perfect thing. Are seraphim angels? What are seraphim? I don't remember what seraphim are. Seraphim, yes, they are a order of angels. One second. Me? No, I'm not doing an idle game in the background. What are you talking about? Me? I would never. Yeah, I was just curious because I was trying to remember what a seraph even is, and yes, it is one of the orders of angels. So, and she's pretty durable. She's doing okay for herself for now. I'm really looking forward to getting her an item that gives the resistance effect. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while because we need to get that effect on something that she can actually equip without incident, and that'll probably be a while. So for now, I think that we've got plenty of her stuff kind of capped out. We don't have this capped out. We might as well cap this out, right?
No space.
Won't fit.
No room.
Like this is an item that there's no real reason not to have maxed out. We have so many of these fucking things. Let's see here. So many crafting diamonds. Yeah, we're not even done with sapphires here. Alright. So this will cap this out at 180. There we go. So 180 luck and 180 might. And we need to... let's see. Get... oh, she's an Archangel now, huh. I had completely forgotten about the fact that the promotion changes the, changes the name. Look, I am capable of reading. That's a thing I can do. Okay, I think I do still have a cloak somewhere in my inventory that is also legendary. Did I max you out? I didn't max you out. So, luck is a problem. Most of our characters are capped on luck right now. I don't have the legendary that I would need to be able to infinitely scale luck. To transition the luck effect into the critical strike bonus. So, since I don't have that legendary, I'm tempted to reorganize this item. This is a melee damage based item. It gives a boost to all resists. This gives accuracy and speed. And the effect on it is mediocre at best. This is probably the best item I have in terms of its actual, like, effect,
My pack's full.
while also being a fairly weak item in terms of its actual stat allocation. And I think I might just want to put double might on this. Double might on this I think would be very useful. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I might actually purge off all 3 effects and start playing with them one by one. That might be the way that I want to handle it. So we need to find our Scouring Pearls. I think the Scouring Pearls being used for this item is a good idea.
I can't carry it.
I think that makes sense. Because, again, this is like a very important legendary effect. And a lot of people have this legendary effect. So it's slightly less important as a result of that. Which one? It's in your inventory, right? Okay, so do we have any Scouring Pearls in your inventory other than what we just picked up? Yes, we do. Okay, so we actually have the 3 Scouring Pearls that we need. So let's rewrite one of these effects, and we can honestly rewrite any of them at first. I'd kind of like to do the resistance effect first. So let's reload this, and we're going to do this until we get that. And that's of the gods. Do we want of the gods? Am I willing to accept of the gods right off the bat? Or do I want to... Okay, let's save this under danger. Let's see. Given who it's going on to, of the gods might be more valuable. Or it might be less valuable. No, I'm gonna re-roll this for Doom. Does this re-roll it? Yes, it does. Okay, we're gonna re-roll all of these. And interestingly enough, if we remove all of the affixes, it does something weird there, actually. So that's good to know. So from here, I would need to use a crafting item to pump this. Armor class is an interesting choice. I don't think I want armor class, though. So we're basically looking for either might or this. Unfortunately, we only have one more pump we can do before we're going to have to... Plus 26 to 7 stats, HP, armor. So we've got the of Doom effect. That's great. So that is applied with a... something. Is it this? Yes. Okay. So we now have of Doom applied. So this has got Luck and Doom. And how are we going to re-roll the body resistance? Because we can re-roll it by upgrading the item. We could also potentially re-roll with Thinger. I'm going to keep saving under danger. It's interesting. What happens if I add the first affix to it? What does the item that gives me the first affix? First affix is obtained with... Is it also with this? It's not. I'm concerned about the fact that it doesn't have anything listed there now. Do I have to use a control cube to upgrade this from this point? I might have to use a control cube for this in order to get it to the next. It's basically to re-roll the secondary stat there. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any control cubes left. I think I used them all. Luck and body resistance is definitely not what I want here. So, how do I want to handle this? Let's see. I might need to do a different setup. If I get a different one of these purged off, interesting. It might not actually matter. Let's reload this. I'm going to basically purge off that first one. And I don't need to save, I'm going to purge off this. And that goes to plus 52 all stats, which is good, but isn't what I want. And we're then going to keep the other ones on there. Save this under what, danger? Yes. Save this under danger. And then we can, instead of purging the other effect, I had a crafting sapphire somewhere, right? That I used last time? That doesn't matter. So we're going to apply this. Apply this. Apply this. And that's wrong character. Unfortunately, this is a different seed if we're doing like a different order of operations here, which means that we would now need to get it like really, it would need to be really tight to be able to reroll this. Interestingly enough, this does mean that it's much easier because of how sticky the RNG is, it's much easier to let's see. I think I might be able to edit the seed by tinkering with other items in between, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. So let's add a intermediary step, boosting an item that we need to boost anyway by 1. So like I could boost these boots by 1 and see if that influences the seed. It is predominantly tied to the item, I think. I think that this is the same seed. You can basically, I think you can basically edit the seed by tinkering with the item itself. But I don't know if you can, because I really love to get that of Doom effect. I really like the of Doom effect. I particularly like it for Kortal. It'd be really nice to have of Doom on this. And I don't know how to make it happen. So one thing that I could hypothetically do is I could put one of those effects on and then like I could just put on the armor class. And then start pumping again, see if that gets me a seed that I need. Unfortunately, of Doom is pretty rare, so the fact that I am not able to use the seed that I'd like to use is an issue. So this is interesting. We've now used a combination of factors to get us to the exact same spot that we started in. This is the exact same seed of the body resistance and the of Doom effect at the same time. That's pretty interesting, right? Those two, I think, are on the same note. If doing the manipulation of the RNG would require that I know how it's calculating that, but they're clearly deriving both of these from the same number. Let's see. And I don't know. I don't think there's much of a way for me to tinker with it right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload test, and we're going to work on this item at a different time. Because I could just make this item into of the gods and boost the luck a lot. But I don't want to do that. I think that I do want to optimize that item better. But optimizing that item better, if I have access to manipulating it by using the control cubes as well, if I can use the control cubes to influence things, I think that's going to help a lot. We just need to have maybe 5 control cubes in our inventory to tinker with the numbers until we get where we're going. So that will be useful. Now then, anything else that we want to tinker with at this particular moment? Let's see, do we have any others? This is basically capped out. I could try to replace the luck on this. We do have over 100% crit chance. So I could replace the luck on this with something else. Let's see what it'll replace with if we do it just flat out, right? I think that makes sense. So let's check. We didn't replace the luck. So let's try this again.
No, there's no room.
No room.
Okay. We could replace the luck with might. That's perfect. So we have might and speed on this now, and we're just going to cap it out. So this is might, speed, and of doom on an item that increases melee damage for each enemy in the nearbys. That's going to be a pretty pronounced impact for us. I like it. And one thing that I could do, actually, if I wanted... And maybe I do want to do this. I think I might want to swap these. I'm going to swap... Wait, I can't, because he can't use gloves. So never mind. Gloves need to be this plus 30 arms master. It's too good. So, with that being a required item, do I have any other slots that have enemies in the nearbys? I guess I could... I could swap this to Ash if I wanted. But Ash is Ash luck capped? Ash is luck capped. So I don't think that we need to do that. I think we're fine there. And anything else that we need to do? I'd love to get... We still have a bunch of diamonds, so we definitely need to pump some of this gear. I could pump this cloak. I don't necessarily want to, just because I have so many cloaks. I could do this. This has 42 to all resists, which is not a super amazing effect. Let's do this. Let's try to get this at a real ring repurposed, because this is a unique effect that is pretty useful. And it would be nice to have the of Doom effect. And what level are you? It's 148, which isn't like a super high level item, but I think it'll be valuable. So let's do it. So we're going to use a Scouring Pearl to try to get of Doom on you. Let's see if we can reload of Doom while we're maxing out the item. If we can't, then because of the fact that this isn't that important an item, honestly, it's not a huge deal. But we don't want to replace either of the other effects. Both of the other effects are pretty solid. At this point in the game, accuracy is really good because it influences our crit damage modifier. All right, so from here, we can just start using crafting items. This gives plus 42 to all stats. So let's save this under danger. And we'll just keep pumping this. There we go. We got the of Doom. We got the of Doom. Perfect. Perfect. So we now have 21 to all stats, plus HP, plus SP, plus armor, and resists. So I think this is a very great effect. Obviously, it's not as high as it would be if we got off the gods or whatever. But as effects go, I think that it's very, very useful to have that. Alright. How are we doing? Let's see. Save this under test. Alright, so that's one of our rings done. And I think this is a well and truly done ring. We could upgrade the of Doom effect on it if we wanted, but we don't need to. This is another ring that already has of Doom. It doesn't require any rerolling. It has speed and endurance, both of which are very powerful effects to have. So we're not going to worry about rerolling this. Neither of these is like a stat that I'm going to worry about getting hitting a soft cap or, otherwise having some reason that we need to re-roll it. So we are going to just cap this item out with our remaining diamonds. And the ring is right here. Okay, we're getting there. Perfect. So this now has 135 speed and endurance, so we can just slap this back on Ashcore. Bloop. So we're now up to 120k attack power, and we're up to 100,000 vitality. Not too shabby. Any other legendaries that are just sitting around being weak? We're going to want to rewrite this thing eventually. But this is going to be a pain in the ass to update. Potentially. I'll leave it as it is for now. This thing, I should be able to upgrade this if I want. This is luck and might built into it right now. And 22 to all resists. It's also got a really solid effect on it that I don't think I actually have on everyone yet. I don't know that I have enough diamonds to meaningfully re-roll it, though. Do I want to re-roll that item? Kind of. I think I have too much luck on that item. Especially if I'm going to be starting to replace things that have resists with all stats. And stuff like that, I think we might need to make some alterations. You don't need to be edited. You are probably fine not to be edited. Endurance and luck. I do definitely have too much luck on this character, just built into the legendaries. And that's fine. See, this is a really solid item. It would be great to turn this into a legendary, honestly. Because I don't even have a lot of legendary necklaces. I have one legendary necklace. So it would be really, really solid to be able to do that. I actually do have nearby melee on a necklace. So if I wanted to give this to Ash, I could swap this to you and then swap. So I would need to swap necklaces with you, but this necklace would probably have to go to you. So the speed and might, I'd lose 1,000 HP on this character, 1,000 base HP, which I think is then multiplied by endurance. So like this would be a sizable. Yeah, that would be a fifth of my vitality gone. That would be a pretty big drop in vitality for a character that doesn't really need the DPS stats that I'd get out of the swaps that I would be doing. Let's see. Might and speed in all stats. I think I'm actually going to make this swap just outright. I'm going to make this swap because I think that Ashcore already has really quite a lot of might. And Severia really doesn't have enough might because it's not built into any of the legendaries that she's sitting on. I could remove this armor class. I'm not sure if I want to, though. So, like, having that durability built into this is pretty decent, I think. I'm gonna see what what do I lose if I purge off that armor. So we're currently at 1440. Let's take a look at what 1440 does for us. 1440 is 82.96. So let's open up. So 1440 is 82.96. So, let's see here. Physical damage reduction is block transfer is the same level monsters. So, what am I doing? Right. We're going to try to purge off this affix. Not because we're actually going to do it properly right now, just because I want to see what it does. So if we do this, we've purged off that effect. And interestingly enough, we can immediately get might if we want. So that brings us down to 1365, which translates to 81.31. So that's pretty good. The value of that armor class on that item, which is not capped by any stretch of the imagination, but the value of that armor is no, it's 1.6 less. It's 82.96 to 81.31. So the overall durability difference is like, I guess I should probably math it out, but it's probably like 8%. It's like an 8% damage reduction. It's like actually really big, because you're going from less than 20% damage. You're going from 18 point. Oops, calc. You're going from 18. Not lock. 18. I cannot type right now for some reason. 18.69. Nice. I did this wrong, I think. I think I'm dividing by the wrong thing. Divide by... I am doing this wrong. I'm doing this backward. Let's see. I'm comparing the actual incoming damage. So the... I'm not comparing the point values, I'm comparing the incoming damage. So incoming damage before and incoming damage after. So I don't want to calculate it based off of what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Divide by 17.04. All right, so that is about, is that like a 9% that's because I think that I wanted to calculate it based off of the smaller value, but all right, so we're going to go with the inverse of that, 18.04 divided by 18.6. So yeah, it's either way, it's about a 9% damage reduction. It's a huge effect, right? That's actually really huge for a random, not maxed out by any stretch of the imagination item. I think I might just want to pump the AC on this. That's actually a lot of durability from just one piece from physical damage, and physical damage is a very common damage type. So what do you have? You would have this to increase melee damage. If I were to give this to you, how big a difference is this in your... You're currently at 65, and that's ignite. So that's 65 to the... So that is close to a 10% as well, right? I don't think it's quite... It's not quite 10%, I don't think. That is 3 point something, I think. So this is not quite 10%. It's slightly less impactful, weirdly enough, on you than it is on Severia in terms of durability, which is unusual. Oh, no, because I'm comparing it to equipping a different item, not comparing it to nothing. Yeah, but don't. Anyway, I'm not comparing it to 26 AC, I'm comparing it to 29 plus a bunch of luck. Plus $35 stats, which also impacts my AC. So, okay. Because speed impacts AC, I think. So, if I were to swap this to you, I think that makes sense to do. Except that we do have this item then that's floating. We would need a better gauntlet to throw onto somebody. Do we have a better gauntlet? I don't know if we have... Ooh, that has a lot of HP and AC, and even more HP and regen. Interesting. For gauntlets with pretty good stats. But yeah, I think that I might actually just keep the AC on that item. The armor class might just be worthwhile. It's funny because I don't usually think of armor class as being a particularly powerful stat, but I guess it probably should have occurred to me that there's a reason that the developers thought that armor class was such a good effect to have on things that it needed to scale lower. Right? Like, armor class doesn't scale to the same values that other stats do. It's like 70% or something like that. As a stat, armor class, I think, is a very weak effect in the Might and Magic series, just because at the beginning of the game it's very good, but almost everything ignores armor class. Right? Almost nothing has a hit check on you. Is it better than Of the Gods? I guess it would depend on, like, if you're far enough in the game, then I could see the argument that it's better than Of the Gods. But Of the Gods is usually going to give you at least a +1 to something. Yeah, and I guess once you have access to the spell, Day of the Gods, you're less likely to end up with anything hitting a threshold. But I mean, do bear in mind that like Of the Gods is giving you a total of what, like 70? It's plus $10 stats, right? So that's like plus 70 total. The probability that it's going to tick over at least one of those stats to the next tier isn't that low. But it would depend on what kind of class you have as well, I guess. Because int and personality are kind of useless. Endurance is very powerful. Later on, like, reducing the amount of hit stun that you get is very, very impactful, and endurance will eventually zero it out. But yeah, the issue with the stats is that it only has an impact when you actually cross a threshold. But the Of the Gods gear does give you like the capacity to hit a new threshold with a lot of stuff. Yeah. The issue with vanilla is that a lot of gear fundamentally is pretty much pointless. Once you get your stats to a certain point, it's like your gear is really not meaningfully going to impact anything, because in order to get to the next threshold, you just need such an ungodly amount of stats. But at any rate, what was I doing just now? Am I saving, or did I do something that I wanted to undo? What was I looking at? Right, okay, so we need to look at this. So this is in the position that I think we want it in for right now. I will potentially want to shift this cloak off onto a different target. Eventually. But for now, I think we're just going to leave this as it is. We have the increases melee damage for, I believe, everyone at this point. And we have substantially boosted Ashcore's vitality. I believe we substantially improved and then moderately reduced Ashcore's damage. So Ash is just now a little bit more damaging. I think we massively improved Korgrik's damage, actually. I think Korgrik was way, way far behind before. And will now have a much easier time holding up. This belt is so good. Unfortunately, the legendary effect isn't great, but the stats on it are amazing. We've got... What else? Let's see. I think we're mostly fine. So we have 411 on you. We have 1970 now on you. We have a lot of regen coming out, which is good. And where do we need to go from here? We have cleared out Nyon. We still have an hour left in stream. Is there a short place that we could go to just clear out a fairly easy location? We could probably go to Bracada Desert to just clear that out really fast. We might be able to do that before 1 o'clock. So, given how much inventory management we've done, I think I want to do that. Let's check to make sure that everyone's wearing a cloak, since I think everybody has all of the gear that they need to have equipped. And we're going to save the game. We're going to save the game again under, what is this place called? Nyon. Done. And we're going to cast a town portal to go to... Is Bracada... I think Bracada... Is Bracada next to Tularian Forest? No, I think it's next to Arathia. Is this the Bracada Desert? It's interesting that this is down here. If this is Deja, it's interesting that the Pit and Celeste are on opposite ends of from the effect that they have. So I don't think I need to worry about the insanity effect because we don't have any mana to play with anyway. So it's not really that huge of a deal. We don't have to... I don't think we have to worry about that. I think we're okay. Let's see here. Let's save under test, and we'll go down to... Actually, let's take a look. See if we can just take a...
Traveling today?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the pit is underground, so it makes sense, right? Let's get the dwarves. Just make sure that I don't have anything to do. I don't think I have anything to do. Dwarf mines are in there. Okay, so yes, we'll have 2 quests to turn in. That's to tell you. Once we have done this. Look, I know what direction south is. I don't know what you're talking about. I know my cardinal directions. Well, the thing that's funny is that they could have made, you know... Because they made the map. They could have just made it so that the Bracada Desert was on the north side of the map. So, it's just kind of funny. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Alright, so we can't cast anything off the bat. Oh, is this map based off of like an actual map in Heroes of Might and Magic? I didn't realize. Let's see. So we have, I think, all of our spells still cast, even though we have no mana to play with. That's great. We do need to cast Thinger eventually. Interesting. Hey, buddy. Alright. Shall we go through the teleporter? Yeah, let's do it. Alright. We still have 0 mana, so we're not going to get any mana until we start hitting enemies, I think. Which means that fly will be harder to come by. Are these hostile? They're not. These only become hostile if I go evil. Okay. Good to know.
We could spare it.
We could spare it. We could try. We could get our asses kicked if we tried to fight that thing. The golems are so strong. The explosions just hit so hard. Alright. We've got some griffins over here. We're gonna fight the griffins. How much you want to bet that this zone that has exclusively flying enemies doesn't allow me to keep flying? I don't think I saw the unrestricted flying message, so... We're going to try to just fight these, and if they're not one-shotting Cortal, that's a really good sign. We're probably going to be able to clear through this without too much trouble. We've gone from an extraordinarily high-level area to, like, an early mid-game area. Like, Griffins are, I think, kind of like mid-game enemies. Like you're gonna fight griffins for like some of the simpler dark side quests, as an example. So it's like it's mid game, but not like hard mid game, right? It's more like early mid game stuff where it's like, yeah, you'll probably fight this pack, or just try to run past them when you first get this thing. But I think that they are a little bit stronger than the things you're expected to be fighting just naturally at this point in the game.
Useless.
At any rate, fairly easy to take down. Do we just want to pop in here, or do we want to clear the exterior first? Let's start flying around the exterior first. We'll just clear out all of the griffins out here, and then we'll pop in. Yeah, the griffins can be really brutal. Like, the royal griffins I think are pretty high level. Like, they're strong. Like, if you just follow the main, like, path, holy shit, are those griffins going to be rough. Because, like, when you do this quest, the only things that you have to fight for the quest, and you don't even have to fight them, honestly. The enemies you need are oh right, I can grab the golem quest.
My weapons are ready.
Alright. Let's see. I was saying something about griffins. Something about how griffins are cool. All right, like like a lot of times when I would play through this, I wouldn't even like fight the oozes because they're hard to kill. So rather than fight all the oozes, I would often just run past them. So, which, you know, is shocking. Which I guess it might be kind of surprising to people. Again, like, when I was younger, when I played games like this, I wouldn't fight anything. I would fight so little. Like, the way that I would play, like, what when I played like, ooh, that's actually kind of cool. We've got Arms Master and of Darkness on a dagger. The spell points is kind of meh, but that'd be kind of cool. Let's see. Well, the other interesting thing is that for the Archer quest, like, you can fight the enemies down there, but, like, when you're doing the Archer quest, those Medusas are way higher level than like, a party is, like, expected to fight, I think. At that point. Like... Yeah. I don't even know if the ambushes are meant to, like, discourage that behavior so much as I think that the ambushes are meant to cater to that playstyle, to add interesting challenges to people that are, like, just kind of running around. Where it's like, okay, you know, sure, you can run around, but you're still going to have to deal with these, you know, enemies that are going to periodically catch up to you and start causing problems for you. Okay. I think we might be okay to just burst this down. I think... Okay, well, we're definitely fine now. We got the pair off. Nice! Control cube! We need those. I like it.
It might be useful.
I like it a lot. Then we have to clear out the paralyzed enemies. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I don't actually remember ever having that happen to me. Weirdly enough.
We could sell it.
Like, I'm sure that it probably did happen to me at some point. I just don't remember it. Like, I don't remember how close you're teleported to the actual oozes. Yeah, like, saving before opening those chests, like, I still save before opening the chest just because it's such a pain in the ass to have to walk back. Even though everything's dead by the time I'm doing it. There's also the element of, like, before I would, like, clear out everything, like, when I was not, like, when I wasn't clearing out zones, my primary damage output was sparks, and I do remember sparks melting those oozes. Right, like, even fairly early in the game where you are there, like, sparks start scaling up real fast. It starts doing some pretty wild damage pretty fast. So if I had like 3 Sparks users, I would imagine that the ooze, like an ooze swarm, is probably survivable by just blasting through a couple of them and then running. Like I could be wrong on that, but I feel like there might be elements of the way that I played the game that made it so that the oozes were not really as intense as they later on would become for me. Because like the association of me doing a bunch of melee is also directly associated with the transition to clearing everything all the time. Like those are that's a transition that happened synchronistically. Synchronistically doesn't sound like it's a word, but I think that is a word. Oh, great! We got one of the statues split. Nice. Yeah, it does depend on how early you do the dungeon. Though I do think that Sparks scales so fast that like if you do have like expert Sparks, like if you have expert Sparks, you're already doing such a huge amount of damage with that compared to what like your typical expectation would be at that point in the game. Right, I was going to do Archmage.
Come on in, have a drink.
My deck is on somebody. That wasn't my Archmage deck. I hope it doesn't move because I think it was in the corner. Oh god, did it move? I think it's moved. No. Well, fine. Deck of cards, deck of cards. Not that deck of cards. Different deck of cards.
I'm not sure what it is.
You don't have this identified.
Now here's something.
Kinda garbage. It's something kinda garbagey. You know what's funny? It actually would probably be fastest to not even look for it. When I'm looking for quest items, I actually shouldn't even be bothering to look for the quest items. What I should be doing is I should just be scrolling through my inventory with every character and just going, okay, check inventory 1, check inventory 2 by just like clicking on the person and going through just, you know, do 1, click, 2, click, 3, click, like it would be very fast. Like it's faster to do it than it is to describe doing it. That's how fast it would be. So we've got a lot of beast income. Oh, jeez. So let's go ahead and just use an orc. And we can use a warlord, get some damage out immediately. Get a fairy. And I could use a thief. I think that would be valuable. Let's see. I'm going to wait 1 turn, and that's perfect. They have just barely enough to make that valuable. And we only need to get up to, what, 75? So 75 is not that far. I'm going to go ahead and... I don't know how many I would need in terms of resources. I think that given how low the tower need is, I think that it's probably more valuable to go for a tower victory and really just not even worry about trying to do a beast victory. Definitely better to just do this. We can use a spizzer, and that puts them pretty far away. Now, the issue is that they are ahead on beasts. And they now have a tall enough wall. But as long as they keep playing beasts periodically, I think I'll be able to keep ahead in that regard. Do I want to do a strip mine? I am going to go ahead and use strip mine. I have enough bricks now that I don't think I need to worry about it. So we just need a +1 tower. Just need a +1 tower. +1 tower. See, I needed that. That's what I need. +1 tower. I just need +1 to my tower. Okay, I need 2. I need 7 to my tower. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Did we actually clear all of the... No shot, right? We haven't cleared all of the... There's no shot that we've cleared all the things yet. So... There we go. Yeah, there's the obelisk group. Alright, so the obelisk group has a leecher. Leecher isn't too bad. Leecher's basically just like a little bit of increased throughput. With enemies like this, I don't think I need to be that concerned about a leecher. I think I should be able to just plow through everything here pretty much. As long as I don't pull like an enormous number of enemies, I think I'm fine. I'm also curious to see what like the list of legendaries is once we have finished the run, because I think that there have been legendaries added since I started the run that I definitely haven't gotten. And let's see, I just don't think I've gotten. I think there's several legendaries that I've not gotten. Do I play with new magic? What do you mean by new magic? Do you mean like the new buff effect that just came out? Like the new buff system? If so, then yes. I don't use a lot of... I don't use damaging spells as part of the rule set that I'm using. Oh, I don't actually have the mana to even cast Shared Life. That's a problem. Actually, you know, that went worse. Yes, I keep the patch up to date every day, so I'm at the most recent build. Yeah, that was funny. I forgot about the fact that the leecher was going to drain my mana. I thought that it would be manageable enough that I'd be able to keep it up, but no, because life is sad. Alright, well, I got it paralyzed, which means that this is over. Sadly. Sadly, it's all over. I did not figure out what was happening. Oh, there were two bosses on me? That's funny. Well, you know, that would explain a lot. Like taking damage from a leecher and another boss.
Now this will do. Now here's something.
Interesting. This might actually be useful for you.
It won't fit.
Do I want to equip this? It's a sizable drop in my durability. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna equip this for now. We'll swap over to the other one later if we feel like it. But what level are you? Oh, it's only level 156. Let's see here. Let's see. Well, I'm not gonna need to alter it as an item. It's not good enough to justify doing that too. The reason that it's such a big upgrade is because Cortal has like a really, really, really old weapon. Like, Cortal has the one weapon that's good, and then is dual wielding a piece of garbage on top of that. But that'll give me a little bit more lifesteal. Not that it matters that much, because Cortal tends to just die instantly. Let's see. I think the drop levels seem to be working pretty well for me at the moment. I mean, they seem like they're relative to the enemies that you're fighting, right? So like I'm fighting like extremely low level enemies compared to me right now. These are like early game enemies, and I've almost cleared 7. So these are like what, like 220 or something like that, maybe. So we're in like a pretty late game party. Finding a weapon upgrade from enemies like this it's pretty funny, honestly. Alright, I think we're done with the exterior, and we're ready to just plow into the thing. We still have 40 minutes left. It only took us 20 minutes to get the exterior done. Nice. Alright, so let's plop down here. And then we'll plop over here. Did I loot the chests? Yeah, once you get into the 3rd world, things tend to be pretty high level, like early on.
Useless.
But once you start opening up the world and getting the experience, because of the fact that nothing is ever going to scale again, right? Like, is that Swift? No. Nothing's ever going to scale again, so things get a lot simpler once you have started to make some progress into your third world. The end of 6 was starting to get pretty rough. That was the second one that I did. And the beginning here was incredibly painful. The bats in particular, because of the way that they behave, were one of the biggest threats to me, even after they were no longer, like, powerful in the context of the thing. So the bats were a problem. But once we started basically capping out our gear, I feel like things started getting smoother on our end. Yeah, Harmondale was definitely easier than Emerald Island for me, I think. Emerald Island was pretty rough. The Dragon Cave really relied on some positioning shenanigans in order to make work. Let's see. How many of them are you? Are there 7 of you? I think there's 7. Okay.
Useless.
Let's see. Yeah, I cleared out the Dragon Cave. One nice thing is that you can still melee kite the dragon once the rats are cleared. The difficult part is the rats, right? Because the rats are so overwhelmingly strong when you first arrive, because you're like, you know, the rats are as strong, are like stronger than the things that you were dealing with on the previous continent at the end of the game. So but on the plus side, the dragon itself there isn't enough of a homing effect to actually prevent you from just like dodging all its attacks. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I kill everything, right? So it is part of the rule set that I need to clear every enemy in every dungeon. So, and I like fighting the dragon on Emerald Island. It just is a lot of fun. it's a lot of fun to, you know, dick around with things that are absolute. Oh, that's a reflector. So I should. Let's try to just burn down the other ones first, maybe. Except I can't because this thing's in my way. Are you poisoned? There you go. I don't have another boss on me, do I? I think this is just normal. I think this is the only other bloodstone, so we should just be poisoned from the normal poison effects, not anything crazy. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's see. Yeah. There were definitely points where my DPS was low enough in this run that it would have taken a really long time. By the time I got to Emerald Island, my party's DPS was like in a pretty good position. So the predominant effect of being under-leveled for me. I thought I was poisoned, not weak. The poison might have just worn off. So, like, actually taking an enemy out didn't really take very long. The dragon took not long, honestly, to take out. But I was also not having to kite it because it was fighting a rat, so... Yeah, the third area really does... I will say, like, I think that the third area starts out really rough, but because of the fact that nothing's going to scale from then on, you really do end up with you have a lot of room to grow, and the enemies don't have any room to grow, right? So, as long as you're staying in the same, you know, continent, nothing is gonna get stronger. So, because like if you're like having a difficult time in like your second continent,
Great.
any like levels that you get, anything that you do to try to like get yourself more powerful, as long as it's giving you experience, is going to, like, if you're re-clearing a dungeon, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, is going to empower like it's going to make the third continent harder, right? But once you've gotten to the third continent, if you can clear anything on the third continent, you can power yourself up using that continent without making the rest of the game harder for yourself. So, like that's the one like really nice advantage is that once you're there, right, you're not like you're just not scaling stuff up. That's assuming that if you're not on like the horizontal bolster, right? Or if you're on the horizontal bolster, that changes things. Yeah. So because like once you get to the final continent, that will bolster up the other continents, but it won't bolster up. But you've already cleared the other continents, right? So since you've already cleared the other continents, you're not bolstering anything that you're actually going to be clearing. So you're starting to like I'm sure you'll remember how like each continent gets kind of like a little bit easier as you get later on into the continent because like you're sort of like catching up to where they've been bolstered to. And in the final continent, you're never going to have that big like shocking jump again where the enemies just like spike up because all of the experience and stuff that you've been doing has been, you know, bolstering them. So it's a really big milestone to finish 2 of the continents so that you have a place that you can just level up to your heart's content. So, and I don't know how merge mod works with like the final areas. I don't know how any of that works, but because I've never actually finished merge mod. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I've never actually finished merge mod.
Useless.
I've like finished a continent. This is the furthest that I've ever been in merge mod. Which is just kind of funny. Like, I've done so much of these games, right? I've played all of these games on stream, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. I remember playing merge mod and being like, you know, why are the thieves hitting me with shrapnel? This is an unusual experience.
That's good. Useless. Useless.
I think it was really early in merge mod's development, actually. Like, I think it was really early on. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, the one issue that merge mod has is just that it's super long, because it's 3 fairly long games in a row. And we need to... Luckily we can teleport out of here, so if the... Actually, now that I think about it, we actually can teleport out of here. I was like, luckily we can teleport out of here, and then I'm like, actually, no, we can't, because we need to clear the entire area. And then I'm like, wait, no, we actually have cleared the entire area once we finish up in here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. So we're 70% done in here. We will clear out the next one. So what is the new game plus for this? Like, what do you just like start over again with like how would that work? So it just like resets the world, including like all of the quests and stuff. You mostly keep your Gotcha. So basically you can like redo the quests and stuff like that. Does the bolster level reset, or does the bolster level keep going up?
Victory is ours. It is defeated.
Oh, there's no bolster at all in the New Game Plus? Because I think I remember one of the developers mentioning that like the New Game Plus isn't fully implemented yet or something like that. Oh god, you're thorns? Why are you thorns? How dare you? Life is sad. We're gonna be okay. There's no shot that we'll clear this thing on its own, but that's okay. We might actually be okay.
It won't hurt.
Easy prey.
Alright, so just wait a few seconds. I'm gonna clear out the next set of these a little bit. Alright, there we go.
I'm not dead.
Oh god, no, you cannot go down. You're not allowed to die. If you die, that's a problem, actually. Everybody else is fine to go down. The preservation person cannot go down. Ah, Thorns. Okay, there we go. Thorns is down. Whew. Yes, Thorns reflects physical damage, but my party does almost exclusively physical damage. So... let's see. Let's see. Oozes are no longer immune to physical. In this mod, nothing's immune to damage types.
I can't identify it.
I wish I knew. It's worthless.
Yeah, it's not the only mod that I've played that does it. I've had several mods that I've played that that make the physical immunes just have a lot of resistance. Like if you look at the Medusas have like 300 resistance to all magic instead of being immune to magic. I am personally happy with like immune things being immune, as long as there isn't anything that's just fully immune to all damage. Like for my purposes, I would prefer for like the reactor, for instance. The fact that the reactor is immune to everything but energy damage is like very, very dull to me, right? But like particular immunities, I have no objection to. Like I'm not going to complain about the fact that they removed the immunities. It's not something that, like, I don't have a huge amount of skin in that game. But yeah, I would have been perfectly content with them leaving the immunities in. Because I do think that it adds, like, a thematic element to stuff that is nice. Where are... Oh, okay. This is actually probably the biggest pack that we've seen in here. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that I could be wrong on this, but I think that the ghosts in, like, Might and Magic 6 had pretty high armor class relative to what you might expect for their level in the base game. So I think that they were like, they had a particularly difficult to deal damage. Maybe they just had physical resist. Did they have physical resist? They might have had physical resist. I don't remember. But let's see. I think are we done? Are we done in Bracada? We're not quite done. We need to put down a Lloyd's because we don't want to do an unnecessary travel to get back here. So let's throw the thing on here. So we can find it. Don't remember what inventory it was in. There it is.
Come on.
Alright, so now we just need to leave. We can't go to Celeste yet. You can't go to Celeste until you've chosen, or until you're at the point where you're choosing a side, or when you've chosen a side or whatever. So basically, when you come here the first time, you're gonna have to come here again. Like, you by default are gonna have to come here twice. Is it this? Yes, this one. Let's see here. So, generally speaking, like the no unnecessary travels rule is one that I have massively. How many of these do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it 7 dwarves? I feel like it's 7 dwarves, right? It was a seven dwarves, right? Reference? Snow White reference? Okay, perfect. All set. Let's see. Yeah, it's surprisingly easy to mod this stuff with MMArchive. MMArchive makes things very convenient. Like, I have a long-standing mod that I've always used to mod the peasants and some of the low-level enemies in Might and Magic 6 that I just cobbled together one day on a whim. Let's see here. I'm realizing that I need to get this stuff done correctly. So we're setting a beacon. We're going to need to travel to Tatalia again at some point, I think. We really don't ever need to go back to Emerald Island, so I could just get rid of this. Do we need Zokar's tomb? Technically, no. We definitely don't need this Shadow Guild anymore. I'm getting rid of it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of it is just doing stuff like changing file names around. I don't think you need to do any coding to do most stuff with most of the mod. You know what it is? I think I remember how it is that I got that mod to work. I think that I dicked around with like more complex stuff for a long time, and then I realized that the way that I did it the first time was just editing monsters.ini to use to just look at a different sprite set, and that was the way to do it. And trying to edit the sprites themselves was a complete waste of time, and I did it twice. I think it was really just a copy-paste job. I think it was that simple. Oh, man. Let's see. We did do the monk promotion at some point. Yeah, I think so. It was this whole thing where I was like, okay, I need to do this and this. I'm like editing sprite sheets and doing all this shit. And none of it was working. It was like doing this weird stuff because there's like some back-end stuff that's not easy to tinker with or whatever. And then it turns out that I can just like go into the monsters ini, and it just says all of like the sprites that it's supposed to use. So you can cut the sprites that are attached to one creature and attach them to a different creature by just copying it and pasting it in that place. And you can just swap them that way. And it's just so fucking funny because it's like, it literally takes 5 seconds and I dicked around for hours doing much more complex stuff. Oh man. Life is good. Yeah, it was pretty easy to do. It's easy enough that I should have probably just done it with the 8, this thing, because I probably could. Okay, we finished up here, right? Let's do Bricata done. And we've completed 2 quests. We've sabotaged the lift, so we can go back to Avli. Did we grab the golem pieces that were here? I guess it doesn't matter because we have to turn in here anyway. Let's see. We've got the dwarves set up. We can... Oh, I just realized I never swapped this for Stone City. I was gonna recast this in Stone City, so I'm gonna have to walk out of Zone Car's team again. I guess I could teleport to Nyon instead, but I think that's gonna take longer than getting out of the barrow as well. Let's see. It's 12:45. We only have one level, so I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and level up now. And next on the agenda is probably gonna be just turning in these quests and just walking over to Deja. So, do we want to do Deja after? I think I'm going to do Deja before I turn in the Dwarf Mines quests, because I think that will be fun. I guess we'll do the Avli portion, but we will do Deja next. I think. We should be. I think we'll be mostly fine. We're fairly high level now. Yeah, the zombie spawn in Deja is wild. But yeah, I'm going to end things here for now. It's tempting to do a little bit of inventory management at the end of the stream here. But I actually need to get up and take care of some stuff. So I think I'm going to end a little bit early today. So that's going to be it for today. So thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to stream for you today. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow, because it's the beginning of the week. Tomorrow, when we will be finishing up Deja, maybe. Actually, Deja is pretty long. It depends on how hard it is. We'll find out.